So I've lived in 3 eras of China: pre-COVID, COVID, and post-COVID. So I've been living here since 2017, pretty much 9 years now. There have actually been people living here way longer than me. They call that era the golden years, or the golden age, where pretty much anything went. Like, it was the wild, wild west, or east, anything went. But I've lived here in 3 different eras, and I want to talk about what was China like pre-COVID, during COVID, and then today, post-COVID. So let's talk about pre-COVID first. And in my opinion, I feel like those were personally the best times. As far as jobs and work and the economy, oh, it was booming. There were so many jobs here. I mean, it was an abundance of jobs. Like, you could just apply and then you'll hear back. Like, you know, when I first moved here, I worked for this company. Yeah. And, you know, I walked out after 2 months because they did some BS. Within like a week, I got a job at an international school, and it was amazing. You know what I'm saying? It was so good. And you can just apply, and there were different jobs out there, like a lot of work, a lot of money to be made. The salaries were good too, and they matched the cost of living. The cost of living was low, salaries were good. You can live good and comfortably. And also there were a bunch of part-time jobs. So like for my guys out there, you can go after your regular job, go teach, you know, part-time private lessons, training centers in the evenings or whatever. There was so many part-time stuff, and it was just so many ways to make money. Me, you know, I was personal training, teaching boxing, doing these types of things and bringing in extra money. It was just an abundance of it. And also, if you're a white guy, there were these jobs called white monkey jobs, where basically you just pretended to be the CEO. You just stand there and just be white, and they'll just pay you. Now those died out, they're illegal, but that was a thing back in the day. And the rules were a little bit more laid back. I mean, there were people working on what I call Mickey Mouse visas, but they weren't too strict on that back then. And you know, you could just go in and just work. It was fine. It was okay. Like, a lot of people did it. And they were enforcing it, but not that extreme. But either way, you know, everybody was just able to just find work and just work, make money, thrive. It was good, man. Life was good. And let's talk about the social life. It was vibrant. I mean, the social life was lit in China. So many bars and clubs and restaurants. It was so much going on. It was always something to do. Everybody was outside. And this isn't just first tier cities like a Shanghai or Beijing or Shenzhen. I mean, even like the second tier cities. Like, I got a friend, you know, he lives in Zhuhai, and you know, he would tell me like it was lit back then. Like, it was lit. Like, I never got to go to freaking Zhuhai to see him, you know, but it was lit from what he would always tell me. And just other cities, like we used to go to Harbin, me, him, other friends, because we were wrestlers. So we used to go to Harbin all the time, and Harbin was low-key lit place. It was a lit ass place, man. And we would just travel, like go to Hong Kong and just travel here, or go to Thailand. Well, I didn't go to Thailand back then, but yeah, it was just, travel was just so easy. I would go to Korea a lot. It was just easy, man. And yeah, it was pretty uncivilized still. Like, a lot of the locals, they still, you know, would stare and point, you know, ooh, white girl, and take photos. They would still do that. Like, when I first moved here, I mean, I would just see people spit, poop, cut in line, photos. Like, I would see a lot of that. I mean, I would record a bunch of, because it was just, I was like, yo, where the fuck am I? I remember one time, yeah, I remember one time I was walking, and there was just like, I don't know if he was his grandpa or whatever. He had his daughter out. She had to be like 1 or 2, and just open her legs and just had her peeing out in the street. It was wild, man. I was like, yo, what the hell? But it was fun, man. Those were some fun days, and that time it seemed like China's really the future. But I did notice a little bit of a shift in 2019. 2019, that's when they started getting a little bit more, I'm not gonna say hostile, but hostile. And they started making the rules a little bit more strict. They started, like, I remember there was this thing called 3 illegal foreigners, where like the government would like pay you to snitch on anyone working illegally. So like it was they were kind of cracking down on that. I saw a little bit of the shift, but we thought that shift would like kind of not go away, but it'll be a little bit farther down the line. And then COVID hit. Now I'm not gonna go deep into it, but I'm gonna talk about some of the stuff we dealt with. But it wasn't all too bad. So I'm gonna talk about some of the good stuff first. So let's talk about the employment, jobs. I remember we were watching the Super Bowl, me and a bunch of my friends. We were watching the Super Bowl. And this was like when COVID was starting to happen. We both were like, well, not all of us were like, when this COVID shit ends, the jobs are gonna be paying so much money. We were saying this inside of the restaurant, pretty drunk, watching the Super Bowl. We said once this COVID shit ends, the jobs will be paying so much because so many people, so many of the foreigners are going to be out of China and it's not going to be people in. So it's going to be a lot. Now, I left China February 2020 and I got stuck for 8 months. And then I came back to China. Actually, I came back December 30th, 2020. So I was in Korea for 2 weeks quarantining and then went to Guangzhou to quarantine for another 2 weeks and then got out. That's another story. I'm not going to get into that. But let's talk about jobs. First of all, jobs paid a lot here because there wasn't any people to enter. Nobody was able to come in. So if you were a teacher, you were getting paid 30, 40, 50K. You were getting paid a lot because they couldn't find anybody because the borders closed. So no one could enter. So if you were stuck here, you were the man or woman. You had the abundance of jobs. They had to pay you this amount. You were balling. You was killing it, man. You was crushing it. And in my line of work, acting, oh my goodness, this is when I started acting in China. Because I was acting back home, but then I started acting in China. I was getting paid a lot of money, like money I've never seen in my life. And we were working nonstop. In the acting industry, we were just working nonstop. We were working so much that I was looking for a 24-hour gym because I didn't have time to go to the gym. That's how much we were working. That's a good ass first world problem to have. Damn, I need a 24-hour gym because I don't have enough. We were doing so well, I was like considering getting a car. You know what I'm saying? That's how well it was. It was so much. Everybody was thriving financially. It was crazy, man. The amount of work we had. And then when there were lockdowns for like teachers, they still had to get paid. So it was just so much good work. But then let's talk about the realities of it. You know, people say, oh, they did a great job. No, they didn't, because a lot of the times we were locked down, treated like second-class citizens. When it happened, like, we saw how they really thought. For example, like, they kicked black people out of McDonald's in Guangzhou. And I actually know someone that was kicked out of McDonald's. They started evicting Africans out of their apartment. They started accusing foreigners of bringing COVID into China, which is just ironic because A, it started in Wuhan, and B, the borders were closed. So if the borders are closed, that means people cannot enter China. So how are foreigners bringing it in when no one can enter? And it started in Wuhan. Make it make sense. Even my landlord, when I was home, I was talking to my landlord and she said, oh, the American virus is dangerous. You need to be careful. And I told her, how is it the American virus if it started in Wuhan? And then she says, oh, the international virus is bad. I'm like, because this at first was kicking off in China, and then it started spreading all over the world. So as China was getting rid of this shit, it got worse in the US. So 2020, China was pretty much fine. There wasn't any of those crazy ass lockdowns. It was fine in China. It was the rest of the world that was fucked up. So yeah, 2020, China was fine. 2021, it wasn't too bad, but you know, there were checks. Sometimes you have a lockdown, you gotta show a green code to enter places, things like that. That's what we were dealing with. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because that's a long story, but you know, if you wanna enter a restaurant, you gotta show a green card, you have to get tested every day or every other day or every 2-3 days, just constant testing, things like that. But we were still able to go out, stuff like that. It wasn't too bad. But then 2022, that's when it really kicked off like prison. Like, we were always locked down, we were harassed, treated like, you know, second-class citizens, people holding their nose when we walk by, some, you know, drivers refusing us, accusing us of carrying it. We were treated terribly. Like, I mean, you can look at the stories on YouTube of other people, like how Shanghai was. Like, people were locked in their homes for like 2 months, couldn't leave. People were deleting themselves, like jumping off buildings, deleting themselves because it was that bad. It was that bad. It was just prison. It was a nightmare. It wasn't fun. And I know some people were like, oh, you just got to be tough. Like, no, shut the fuck up. That's just stupid. And it's inhumane. And like, I love the fact on my end that I was earning a lot, but also at the same time, I was like, this is bullshit. And I remember watching, I was on Facebook and I saw like a photo of my dad and my uncles at the Redskins game or Commanders, or at the time, Washington football team game. And I'm in lockdown, like, this is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So me and my girl, we were actually about to leave China. Like we were finna go to Thailand because we said this is stupid. And then something changed. In November, some shit happened where it would actually protest. And you know, China, they don't do protest here, but China protest. And then after that, December, they said, all right, we're gonna just stop this stuff. And then they just stopped COVID. They stopped all the lockdowns, the restrictions, everything just opened back up. And I caught COVID after that, and it sucked, but it wasn't, the flu was worse. COVID sucked though, don't get me wrong, but I caught it, a lot of people caught it, and we dealt with it. And then boom, everything opened back up. And then 2023, which is post-COVID, we thought, okay, yeah, we finna get right, you know what I'm saying? Because this time I'm still acting, you know, I'm about to get back into wrestling again. I'm about to go travel and this and that. Everything seemed fine, man. But, you know, 2023 was a good year. But then 2024, that's when we started to see the decline. Jobs in China got much harder. A lot of places shut down. A lot of schools, kindergartens, they shut down. They couldn't survive. A lot of them shut down. A lot of jobs were either not hiring or they were hiring, but they were offering very low pay. That was one of the biggest shockers. The pay that was being offered to a lot of jobs here was way lower than when I first moved here in 2017. I mean, these were looking like 2012 salaries. The pay was low. The cost of living was not low. The cost of living was up. They were offering low pay and higher requirements for teaching. Like recently I saw for a PE teacher, they want a master's degree. A master's degree to teach basketball. Like, come on, man, really? And it's just, finding a job is a lot harder now. And there aren't that many jobs. The teaching industry it seems to be getting worse and worse. And I noticed that 2024, it was, you know, still, it wasn't too bad. Like you can still find some, but 2025 and even today, it's terrible. It's gotten worse and worse and worse. And you got more people coming in. So now there's more competition. So now they're more strict on who they want to teach. Even if you have the qualifications, it's still hard. Visa restrictions tighten up. It's just a lot harder to get into schools and to get jobs now. The acting industry, which I do, is complete shit show now. It's just complete dog shit. Like, I don't even get booked. First, they used to just book a model with zero acting experience, but now no one's getting work. It's terrible right now. It's really bad. And the social life just sucks. Like, I mean, during COVID, there wasn't really much of a social life, but now here, it's just not a lot of people are out. And all the second tier cities are like kind of down now. Shenzhen, which used to be vibrant, Shenzhen sucks. And people know that I complain about Shenzhen. And it's because I was here pre-COVID and it was so fun. But now it just died down. And a lot of foreigners have left, especially like 2023, a lot of them left. Some are coming back, some aren't. I don't know, but a lot of them left. A lot of restaurants and bars I used to frequent no longer exist. The ones that still survived, kudos to you. I don't know how you did it, but good shit. And I just feel like, you know, that vibe, that energy is lost. Now, I feel it's slowly coming back, but just not to that level. I just feel like post-COVID, it's not the same. I meet people that moved to China either during or right after COVID. And it's like, damn, you really missed out. Like I meet people that, yeah, I came in 2023. I'm like, you missed out. You have no idea. China was the place to be pre-COVID. Like I was here 2017, 18, and even 19, which was a personal bad year for me, but still a great year. That was so freaking fun. And it's like, I missed those days, but it's over with. But I mean, should you still come to China? Yeah, that depends on your goals and who you are. If you coming here thinking you're going to just hop off the plane drunk and get into the job, not gonna be like that no more. You got to have qualifications now. They're stricter. They're very picky on who they want teaching their kids. And to that extent, I don't blame them, because there was a lot of trash coming here, a lot of trash garbage that just comes here and thinking, oh, because they're white, they're gonna teach. So no, I respect the fact that they're making it strict. They're making more qualified people to teach. So I get that, and I'm not blaming them. But make sure you have your shit together if you're trying to come here. But yeah, that's my take on the 3 eras of COVID. No, sorry. That's my take on the 3 eras of China. Yeah, man, if you were here pre-COVID, you know what's up. You know what's up, man. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Instagram at _Uncle Money. Check out all my other bullshit in the description. All right, I'm out.